Welcome to this overview of the Biblical Eldership website. I'm going to take you through it to give you just a primer on all the things that are available and how to get around. One of the things you'll notice is from time to time things do change on the website, so it may not look exactly the same, but it shouldn't be too different than what you're seeing here. The main site, of course, getting onto is biblicaeldership.com. And we have a number of ways to find your way around. First, of course, is just our top menu. This is where you can find access to everything. But some of the highlights we've put down here. This, of course, is just a graphic there. But down here are the three main questions that we anticipate people have when they come. And this will get you a beeline to the material that was specific to these questions. So for the first one, for example, how can I train others to be pastor elders? That'll take you in, and we'll click there just to take a quick look. Here are a number of the training programs and outlines that we have, and you can click on any of these and it'll take you in there. So we go back to the front page. Anytime you want to get back to the front page, you can do it either in your browser by doing a back arrow, or you can go and click on the banner on any of the pages, and that'll take you back to this home page. And of course, if you sign in, you do it up here. Once you sign in, or if you haven't registered yet, you register. That gets you on our mailing list for our weekly Passing the Baton blog, which was designed to encourage and build you up and keep you aware of some of our resources. Once you're logged in, you'll see your name up here, right here. This is for checking out some of the samples of our other languages that we have the resources translated into. That's in progress, so that'll be changing and expanding as the time goes on. Going back down here, you can also go right to things that have to do with becoming more effective as a pastor elder for yourself. We'll look at that in a minute. And then thirdly, how can my church transition to eldership? These represent the three main questions that people have when they come to this site. So we've designed each of these to be able to get you directly into the most relevant resources for our website. All you have to do is click on those and that'll take you there. One of the things you'll quickly discover is getting into this Biblical Eldership website. It's like turning on a fire hydrant full blast. You could easily drown in all the resources. So that's what we've done there, is we've tried to help you get right to the things that you will need most pertinent. Here is just a description of what our Biblical Eldership resources is about. That's the ministry that operates this website. In this short 8-minute video, describes what our passion is, what our mission is, and generally how we're going about it. You can also click on Learn More there as well to get a text-based thing. And of course, some people may come to this and their basic question is, what is biblical eldership? And we have a short 12-minute video giving an overview of that. And also, this is our latest significant addition. We have an online school called the School of the Shepherds. This entails 6 courses that are online. You sign up for those. You can take that individually, or you can do it as a group, or one person can set up a group. And then finally, down at the bottom, we have a website overview, which gets you into what you're listening to now, a series of tutorials, and then finally, frequently asked questions. And we have 2 kinds of questions there. I'll get you there. Just click on that. And we have frequently asked questions about this website. The acronym for frequently asked questions, of course, is FAQs. This is some of the technical things that will help you if you're having any kind of problems or questions about the website itself. That's where you'll find some of the more common answers. And then we have frequently asked questions about eldership in the church. You can click on that and you get some of the more frequently asked questions. So let's go back to the front page again. Those are the highlights, and you can get into any of those by doing that. I also want to show you up here, this is a more complete entry point to our website. We have, these are all drop-down menu items, so if you just move your cursor and hover it under each one, for example, this first section is dealing with the subject, what is biblical eldership? We have a brief explanation. We've got an online booklet that can be printed down, or you can purchase that in our store, 45-page booklet that describes it. Then we have, still under the What is Biblical Eldership, we have our flagship video series, a 9-message series by Alexander Strauch, the author of the book Biblical Eldership. And 95% of the videos on our website are of a duration of 15 minutes or less. Still under What is Biblical Eldership, we have book recommendations, we have endorsements, people that endorse this ministry. That's all under the subject of what is BE, or Biblical Eldership. By the way, I'll just mention that we often use the abbreviation BE for Biblical Eldership, or for the ministry organization, we call it BER, Biblical Eldership Resources. Now, our next major section of the website is what we call implementation. Now, this is one section that's almost entirely text-based, and what we do here is we guide you through the various steps that are helpful in transitioning your church to a shared leadership polity. And if you go there, there's a section that we encourage you to read first, and then things like we help you identify your starting point. Are you a pastor that's looking to transition your church? Are you a board member? Are you just a member sitting in the pew, but you have a burden for this? How can you influence your church towards this? What do you do if you have leaders divided? Each one of these gives you a different pathway into our recommendations on how to transition your church. We have a small amount of information here on church planting, how to establish this at the very beginning. We're hoping to grow this resource in time. But this is all under the implementation section. Now, under effectiveness, this is where we have a huge number of videos, over 200 videos, in a variety of subtopics. And these cover just about every area of eldership, shared leadership in the local church. We talk about a personal life. We talk about an elder, his leading role, his teaching role, his caring for the people in the flock. We call that shepherding. We talk about his protecting. And we talk about the elder team itself. How do elders get along and function together as a team, and not just as a committee that just spins its wheels talking. So we have a lot of topics there. And then finally, we have our training section, which I showed you earlier on the homepage. These are the various training modules that we have. Now, when I talk about these, all of these are based on what we call the basic content modules. Each one is broken down into a series of topics. For example, a call to study here, I'll click on that. But each of the videos is broken down into a video where you can play that. It's also for those that don't have high bandwidth, you can just listen to the audio down here. We have lecture outlines that you can, click on one of these. These are just simply PDF files that you can print down and use to fill in with your own notes. But we also have detailed outlines, which is basically the entire contents of the message that's given in the video in outline form. So you can use that to study. Some people prefer that as their primary way of learning, is text-based. And what I'm saying here is true of all of our videos. We have, for each one of them, we have what's called the Remember It section. We just have 3 questions that are designed to just help you remember the topic, remember the subject. Of course, it doesn't cover everything, but it's just a sample to engage your memory muscle. For example, you just hover your cursor over that, it highlights it. In this case, what did the speaker require his listeners to read? Or why did he require the listeners to read A Call to Study by John Stott? And it's designed for you to think about it, and after you've thought about it, you can click on it and you'll see the answer. And so each one of these is designed to help you remember. Then we have discussion questions. If you're doing this by yourself, this would just be for your own personal reflection and thought to stimulate your mind, but we encourage that best way to study this material is to study it with one other person or with a group. Therefore, these become discussion questions that will help you engage one another in going deeper. You'll notice all the scripture references are a hot spot for finding the scripture. They'll pop right up there. so you can read those as you go along. And then finally we have the Apply It section, and that's just our recommendations on how to apply the scriptures or things that you can actually do as a result of studying this lesson. And then finally we have the Digging Deeper, and here's the actual reference and a link to an online site where you can buy that particular book. So that's the basic content module. Now, this is actually part of a whole series. If you remember up here, we were under teaching, and it was under the call to study topic. This is actually part of the whole series. Now you notice this looks very much the same as what we saw here, the Apt to Teach, Developing a Strategy Call to Study. So you can actually progress after you've watched this one, go to the next one, Exegesis and Structure. In this case, it has 3 subtopics or 3 sub-lessons, and this is just titled 1, 2, and 3. Again, these are by Alexander Strauch, and you click on any one of those, and you'll notice the form is exactly the same. Different content, different questions. But all of the effectiveness section is set up that way, so you can go through. These can be used, as I say, individually. We know a lot of people are using these for mentoring. Well, 2 men would get together, maybe an older brother and a younger brother. They'd meet once a week for a cup of coffee or a lunch break during work. Meet at a restaurant. They could watch the video in less than 15 minutes and then spend time with the discussion questions, interacting. Great way to mentor up-and-coming leaders, or to just challenge one another to grow in your effectiveness as a shepherd. So that's the whole effectiveness section there. If I move the cursor over to the School of the Shepherds, that's our School of the Shepherds section, where you can find all the information you need for enrolling. If you want to see what the course list is, I click on there. These are the 6 courses. A lot of this material is an overlap with the effectiveness section, but we've structured it, we've added more to it, and made it equivalent to a college level online course. So there's quizzing, and you have to get a certain passing grade in order to progress from one lesson to another. These are one of the few things that we offer for a small nominal price. Currently, the first one's free, and so you can try it out, and then if you want the others, you can purchase that by just clicking on any one of them, and it'll take you to our store. So that's the School of the Shepherds. And by the way, I might mention that can be done as a group. An individual can sign up and get a group license to use it, and then invite people to sit in his virtual classroom. You can read more about that by clicking on that. Now we have a lot of things that don't fit into those categories we've talked about across the top: the describing biblical eldership or teaching about it, implementation, how to become more effective, and the online courses. Here we have just a wealth of information. We have, for example, the qualifications. We go into this in depth. This is an important part of being an elder, is that they be biblically qualified. Here we have just a series of articles on a variety of subjects related to leadership in the local church. Here's where you find out more about our blogs. There's our BER blog. Anybody who registers onto our website automatically gets put onto our blog mailing list. So that's where you find past issues, past articles. eMeds is a daily mail that we send out. This is on a subscription basis. You're not automatically signed up, but if you want to do that, it's just a short reading exposition on Scripture that takes you through different parts of the Bible on a daily basis. And then, of course, we have our BER store, where you can find some of our resources that we have for sale. This next column is past conferences that we've had. BER, on an annual basis, provides a simulcast conference where we have one local church that hosts this, and we bring our production equipment and we produce a video stream that goes online, and you can anywhere in the world, theoretically, if your time zones coordinate well enough, you can follow along and have your own conference using our video feed. We provide everything you need for organizing it, including the video feed, the live feed. We've had as many as 16 churches from across North America and even some foreign countries that have joined us in this. Here are some of the past ones that we've done. And then we have recommendations of websites that we know of that we recommend. Our leadership links is a weekly recommendations on profitable essays and articles that occur on the internet in recent times. It's a tremendous resource. We got books that we recommend, and if you want a speaker that can address the subject of shared leadership, plural leadership in the local church, we have a team of guys that are readily available. Then we have a section just on legal and security issues, things that you can look at. Can we recommend some bylaws, constitutions for churches that are transitioning to eldership or wanting to improve on the legal side of things? And we do have a number of sample bylaws that you can look at, and we can also, if we have lawyers that we can recommend that can help you put those things together. So that's the more resources. Of course, everybody would like to know who's behind this ministry, so here you can find out all about us. Here's our mission, what we believe. Here's our team, both our core team and additional content providers, and of course we have regional teams around the world. You can find out about those. BER is being currently translated and contextualized for different regional areas of the world. And then we have a growing list of what people are saying about this ministry. And then we have the help section. We have our tutorials, we have frequently asked questions, there's a site map. Here's how you can contact us, our copyright policy, and if you care to, you can log out. And then finally, donations. This is a faith-based ministry. So that's the website, and we encourage you to look around. You can, for those that care, here's some quick links down here of just some other things. These are just getting you into the same material that I've already talked to you about. So you can get through two of them through here. You can access them from up here, or you can just go back to the home page and click up on the banner, and you get the quick entry point to some of these. If we can help you in any way, let us know. We want to be of help. Thank you for your patience in listening to this. Lord bless you.